Well, I go to the locker room, change into my lab suit, and light up, the entire time trying to figure out where are they getting the dirt? If it's from the Institute, then it's all lies. No one here knows a damn thing about me and never could. And if it's from the police, again, what could they know about me except my old sins? Maybe the vulture got nabbed. That bastard to save his sorry ass would rat on his own mother. But even the vulture doesn't have a thing on me nowadays. I think and think, can't think of a thing and decide not to give a damn. The last time I went into the zone at night was 3 months ago. The swag is mostly gone and the money is mostly spent. They didn't catch me then, and like hell they'll catch me now. I'm slippery. But then, as I'm heading upstairs, it hits me. And I'm so stunned that I go back down to the locker room, sit down, and light up again. It turns out I can't go into the zone today. And tomorrow I can't, and the day after tomorrow. It turns out the cops again have me on their radar. They haven't forgotten about me, and even if they have, someone has very kindly reminded them. And it doesn't even matter now who it was. No stalker, unless he's completely nuts, will go anywhere near the zone when he knows he's being watched. Right now, I have to be burrowing to some deep, dark corner. Zone? What zone? I haven't set foot there in months. I don't even go there using my pass. What are you harassing an honest lab assistant for? I think all this through and even feel a bit of relief that I don't need to go into the zone today. Except, how am I going to break it to Kirill? I tell him straight out. I'm not going into the zone. Your orders? At first, of course, he just gawks at me. Eventually, something seems to click. He takes me by the elbow, leads me to his office, sits me down at the table, and perches on the windowsill nearby. We light up. Silence. Then he asks me cautiously, Red, did something happen? Now what am I supposed to tell him? No, I say, nothing happened. Well, I blew $20 last night playing poker. That Noonan sure knows how to play, the bastard. Hold on, he says. What? You mean you just changed your mind? I almost groan from the tension. I can't, I say through my teeth. I can't, you get it? Hersig just called me to his office. He goes limp. Again, misery is stamped on his face, and again his eyes look like a sick poodle's. He takes a ragged breath, lights a new cigarette with the remains of the old one, and says quietly, Believe me, Red, I didn't breathe a word to anyone. Stop it, I say. Who's talking about you? I haven't even told Tender yet. I got a pass for him, but I haven't even asked him whether he'd come or not. I keep smoking in silence. Yea, gods, the man just doesn't understand. What did Herzog say to you anyway? Oh, not much, I say. Someone squealed on me, that's all. He gives me a funny look, hops off the windowsill, and starts walking back and forth. He's pacing around his office while I sit there, blowing smoke rings and keeping my trap shut. I feel sorry for him, of course, and really this is rotten luck. A great cure I found for the guy's depression, and who's to blame here? I am, that's who. I tempted a child with candy, except the candy's in a jar, out of reach on the top shelf. He stops pacing, comes up to me, and looking somewhere off to the side, asks awkwardly, Listen, Red, how much would it cost a full empty? I don't get it at first, thinking he wants to buy one somewhere else, except good luck finding another one. It might be the only one in the world, and besides, he wouldn't have enough money. Where would a Russian scientist get that much cash? Then I feel like I've been slapped. Does the bastard think I'm pulling this stunt for the dough? For God's sakes, I think. Asshole, what do you take me for? I even open my mouth, ready to shower him with curses. And I stop. Because, actually, what else could he take me for? A stalker's a stalker. The money is all that matters to him. He gambles his life for the money. So it follows that yesterday I threw out the line, and today I'm working the bait, jacking up the price. These thoughts shock me speechless. Meanwhile, he keeps staring at me intently, and in his eyes I don't see contempt, only a kind of compassion. And so I explain it to him calmly. No one has ever gone to the garage with a pass, I say. They haven't even laid the route to it yet, you know that. So here we are, coming back, and your tender starts bragging about how we made straight for the garage, took what we needed, and returned immediately, as if we went to the warehouse. And it will be perfectly obvious, I say, that we knew what we were coming for. That means that someone was guiding us, and which one of us three it was. That's a real tough one. You understand how this looks for me? I finish my little speech, and we silently look each other in the eye. Then he suddenly claps his hands, rubs them together, and cheerfully announces, Well, of course, no means no. I understand you, Red, so I can't judge you. I'll go myself. I'll manage, with luck. Nah, it's not my first time. He spreads the map on the windowsill, leans on his hands, hunches over it, and all his good cheer evaporates before my eyes. I hear him mumble, 390 feet? Or even 400? And a bit more in the garage? No, I won't take Tender. What do you think, Red? Maybe I shouldn't take Tender. He has 2 kids after all. They won't let you out on your own, I'd say. Don't worry, they will, he says, still mumbling. I know all the sergeants, and all the lieutenants. I don't like those trucks. 13 years they've stood in the open air, and they still look brand new. 20 steps away, the gasoline tanker's rusted through, but they look fresh from the assembly line. Oh, that zone. He lifts his gaze from the map and stares out the window, and I stare out the window too. There, beyond the thick leaded glass, is our zone. Right there, almost within reach, tiny and toy-like from the 13th floor. If you take a quick look at it, everything seems okay. The sun shines there just like it's supposed to, and it seems as if nothing's changed, as if everything's the same as 13 years ago. My old man, rest his soul, could take a look and see nothing out of place. Might only wonder why there isn't smoke coming from the factories. Is there a strike on? Yellow ore and conical mounds, blast furnaces gleaming in the sun, rails, rails, and more rails, on the rails a locomotive. In short, the typical industrial landscape. Except there's no one around. No one living, no one dead. Ah, and there's the garage. A long gray tube, the gates wide open, and trucks standing next to it on the lot. 13 years they've stood and nothing's happened to them. Kirill got that right. He has a good head on his shoulders. God help you if you ever pass between those vehicles. You must always go around. There's a useful crack in the pavement there, if it hasn't been filled with brambles. 400 feet. Where's he measuring that from? Oh, must be taking the last marker. Right. Can't be more than that from there. Those eggheads are making progress after all. Look, they laid a route all the way to the dump, and a clever route at that. There it is, the ditch where the slug kicked the bucket, all of 6 feet away from their route. And Knuckles kept telling the slug, "You idiot, stay away from those ditches or there'll be nothing left to bury." A real prophecy that was. Nothing left to bury indeed. That's the zone for you. Come back with swag, a miracle. Come back alive, success. Come back with a patrol bullet in your ass, good luck. And everything else, that's fate. I take a look at Kirill and see that he's watching me out of the corner of his eye, and the look on his face makes you do another 180. Screw them, I think. Let them all rot in hell. What can those toads do to me after all? He doesn't need to say a thing, but he does. Laboratory assistant Short, he says. From official, and I emphasize official, sources, I have received information suggesting that the inspection of the garage may be of great value to world science. I propose we inspect the garage. A bonus paycheck is guaranteed. And he's grinning from ear to ear. What official sources? I ask, grinning like an idiot myself. These are confidential sources, he answers. But I am authorized to tell you. Here he stops, grinning and frowns. Say, from Dr. Douglas. Ah, I say, from Dr. Douglas. And which Dr. Douglas is that? Sam Douglas, he says dryly. He perished last year. My skin crawls. For God's sakes, who talks about these things before setting out? These eggheads never have a grain of sense. I jab my cigarette butt into the ashtray. Fine, where's your tender? How long do we have to wait for him? Anyway, we drop the topic. Kirill calls PPS and orders us a hoverboot while I take a look at their map. It's not bad at all, made from a highly magnified aerial photograph. You can even make out the ridges on the tire lying next to the garage gates. If we stalkers had maps like this. Then again, much good to do at night when you're showing your ass to the stars and can't see your own 2 hands. And here Tender shows up, red in the face, puffing and panting. His daughter got sick. He had to go fetch the doctor. He apologizes for being late. Well, we hand him quite the gift, a trip to the zone. At first he almost forgets to puff and pant, the poor guy. What do you mean, the zone? He says. Why me? However, when he hears about the double bonus and that Red Stewart is coming too, he calms down and starts breathing again.